Never thought I'd marry a half-dead man. I can't bear to see you like this. Double the dosage for Elliot tonight. She'll make a perfect scapegoat. Imagine when she found out you're with me every night. He's awake!
I heard you might be carrying my child. Surgery or pill, pick one.
An abortion isn't a minor procedure. Maybe I should keep the baby. A few weeks ago, the wealthy Dalton family made headlines with a worldwide marriage proposal for their comatose son, Elliot. The sole heir to the Dalton fortune has been in a coma following a tragic accident. The Daltons, known for their high society norms, chose a Cinderella for their prince. Is this a tale of luck or a twisted fate? The sound of wedding bells echo through the hallowed halls. Avery, in her breathtaking wedding gown, gracefully navigates the hallway. Whispers are seeping out from a slightly ajar door, making her come to a halt. Nate, my poor sister still thinks you're the man of her life. She can't seriously believe she can just crawl back to you once Elliot kicks the bucket. Are you sure she won't back out the wedding? This isn't some game where she can just drop out. She will marry Elliot, and once I get all the Dalton assets through her, she'll be completely disposable. Just bear with me, babe. Play the part until the curtains fall. Through the door gap, Avery watches Nathan and Cassie in a lover's embrace. Their laughing and groaning become more and more intense. You're so bad. Honey, promise me that you only care about me. Of course. Only you dirty little cat can be my baby. What should I do? Dad's awfully ill and he's leaving me with a company going bankrupt. Darling, don't worry. We will find a way out. Maybe, if it helps, will you marry my uncle? Avery's grip on her wedding gown tightens. The mixed feeling of anger and sorrow is burning her face. She collects herself, a new determination lighting her eyes. She strides towards the chapel, leaving behind the echoes of betrayal. Avery stands elegantly next to the priest, radiant in her wedding gown, but the absence of a groom beside her is hauntingly apparent. Avery, do you take Elliot to be your husband, to stand by him in sickness and in health, to love, honor, and cherish for all of your days? Never thought I'd marry a half-dead man, but I never thought I'd be betrayed either, and yet, I do. The congregation, a sea of faces of the Dalton family, watches as the priest places the wedding ring on Avery's finger. Meanwhile, a maid approaches the bed of Elliot Dalton, gives him an injection, and smirks at the closed eyes of the man lying on the bed. Madame Rosalie, the matriarch, radiates a sense of power and elegance as she sits in her antique sofa. Nathan, her son, sprawls lazily by her side as they watch the news on television. Elliot may be a vegetable, but he's still a Dalton. As long as he's breathing, he'll hold a share in our assets. Marrying him to some smart, wealthy woman would be a threat to us. That's why I've handpicked this poor girl, Avery, an orphan, easy to control. Once Elliot's gone, we'll toss her out. Nobody can touch what is rightfully ours. Mother, you're brilliant. I'm doing all this for you. But thanks for recommending this Avery girl. She checks all the boxes. A knock on the door interrupts their conversation. A maid enters. Madam, Miss Avery is here. Take her straight to her room. I've got no interest in meeting this little nobody. Avery is led upstairs by the butler. Avery enters Elliot's room and leaves her suitcase there. She approaches the comatose Elliot, raises her hand to caress Elliot's face, and looks at the unconscious Elliot. Hello, strangers. You look really cool and handsome. It's a pity we can't know each other officially on our marriage. But how can I endure letting somebody who's so good-looking deadly lying here forever? Sensing Elliot is weirdly pale, Avery picks the medicine bottles beside the bed to check. Olanzapine, choline, neurotrophic fluid, glucose. Who treats a comatose patient with these medicines? Shit. As Avery stands up, puzzled and frowning, she slips and quickly grabs onto the wall for support. Unexpectedly, a secret niche in the wall reveals itself. A bottle of unlabeled medicine sits inside. It smells weird. No way. Could it be? She examines it, takes a sniff, and gasps. Shocked and frightened, Avery retrieves a first aid kit with a syringe with a silver needle in it. She injects Elliot's arm with the needle. As she pulls out the syringe, the silver needle turns black. He is poisoned! It's arsenic trioxide. Someone wants you dead, Elliot, and they're patient. They only do a small dosage at a time. But how? Enter Callie, a maid, with a tray containing a nutrient injection. Miss Avery, the doctor has prescribed a glucose injection for Mr. Elliot's nightly routine. Avery nods at her. Come on in. Over Callie's back, Avery watches closely as Callie fills the syringe and injects it into Elliot's arm. Have you ever worked in a hospital, Callie? Yes, for 5 years, ma'am. I can tell. You're very good at this. After Callie leaves, Avery tests the spot where the injection happened. The needle turns black again. Gotcha! So it is poison. And the maid, is she involved? Who gave the order? Avery looks at the unconscious Elliot, concern filling her eyes. In a quick motion, she throws back the sheets. I'm sorry, honey, but I have to. It's urgent. Elliot, now shirtless and his muscular body on full display, is lying unconscious on the bed. Avery's eyes widen at the she takes in the sight. God, you're built. But we can't afford to get distracted here. After you're healed, I'll need some form of compensation. She opens a first aid kit, pulling out a syringe and several small vials of medicine. Avery administers the injections one by one. After the injections, Avery discards the vials into a nearby trash can. Why won't you wake up, handsome? Remember my name, it's Avery. From now on, I'm your wife, and anybody who screwed me over, I will get back at them one at a time. Exhausted, Avery lies down next to Elliot, quickly falling asleep. Avery, yawning, lazily descends the grand staircase to the kitchen. I need water. Andrea and Callie, 2 maids, are already in the kitchen, busy with the morning chores. Scared of some teenage girl? Please, she's nobody. She doesn't even have a family member to walk her down the aisle. If the master wasn't in a coma, there's no way in hell some country bumpkin like her could ever step foot in the Dalton mansion. And she dares to call herself the lady of the house. The audacity! That's enough. Why bother cleaning Elliot's dishes so carefully? It's not like he can notice your effort or anything. How dare she belittle me like this? Well, it's time she remembers who's in charge. Avery picks up the vase, her rage reflected in its polished surface, and throws it towards Andrea. The vase hits Andrea's forehead, shattering into pieces. Andrea yelps, holding her bleeding forehead. Ouch! Who the hell? Andrea turns around, seeing Avery stand tall, an uncharacteristic calm on her face. Madam... Oh, now you remember my title? I thought I was just some country bumpkin. Why the change in your tone? Was I wrong? If the master wasn't bedridden, would the Daltons have even glanced your way? You're just a glorified nursemaid to the young master. You're no better than us, just another servant in the Dalton house. The butler rushes in, confusion written on his face. Madam, what seems to be the problem? No big deal. I just fired her. A frightened look appears on Andrea's face, which turns into anger and hatred very quickly. Madame Rosalie, standing by a window, the echo of shattering porcelain still ringing in the room. That little tramp dared to dismiss my staff? I'd like to know who gave her such audacity. Maid Andrea is packing to leave. She sneaks out of Elliot's room, holding the empty medicine vial that Avery had used to treat Elliot. Avery, supporting the frail Mrs. Dalton, walks along the garden path. Madame Rosalie and Miss Edith, a daughter of a family friend, follow behind. My dear Avery, I have something for you. Mrs. Dalton takes off an ancient ring and presents it to Avery. Madame Rosalie and Miss Edith gasp, their faces contorting with anger. This ring has been passed down through generations of Daltons. You, Avery, are brave, kind-hearted, and a true lady, even if you're not one of our blood. Mrs. Dalton, this is too much. Take it. You are one of the Dalton now. I trust you'll take care of my Elliot. Madame Rosalie steps forward, her face contorted with anger. Mother, you can't pass a family treasure to her. She just got here for barely a day and she's already starting firing our people. Andrea has been with us for years. We need someone who truly cares about Elliot, not some little immature girl playing with her power. Yes, Mrs. Dalton, this uncivilized girl who obviously got some bad intentions that might be the end of Elliot. Mrs. Dalton, I can explain. Andrea was disrespectful to Elliot. I couldn't let her stay. I made a vow to take care of Elliot, and I intend to keep it. Anyone who can't show him respect has no place in this house. Avery, you did the right thing. You are a Mrs. Dalton now, and you have every right to do what is good to this family. Anyone who has problem with that is confronting with me. Madame Rosalie looks on, shocked and angered. Besides, Avery, my heart really aches knowing Elliot may never wake up. I wish he could have a child. A piece of him. Would you be willing to give him a child? Everyone is stunned by the sudden request. Mother, Avery is still young. She may don't want to give up her studies for a child, do you? Avery? Nathan, that scumbag, he will pay. And I won't let the Dalton fortune fall into the hands of that mother-son duo. Yes, I'll do it. I knew we could count on you, Avery. From now on, think of me as your new mom. Your family. In Elliot's room, Nathan forces himself onto Avery. Avery, you broke my heart. You never let me touch you, and now you're having my uncle's child. Why not? I bear his child, and I secure a share of his fortune. Avery, why not carry my child? Just say it's my uncle's. Get out, Nathan, and call me Aunt Avery. Relax, I was just kidding. I will treat my uncle's kid as my own after he dies. Hey, why don't we kill my uncle, so we can both get his estate? Save it! I heard what you were saying to my sister while you were fucking her. Did you think I'd never find out? You told me marrying Elliot will help my father, and once his company's safe, I can just divorce him. So all of that was just part of your plan to get your uncle's properties. You're the reason I got into this mess. Now you want me to kill for you? Why don't you go fuck yourself? Miss Edith sits at her desk as an assistant hands her a stack of papers. The background check on Avery is complete, ma'am. Miss Edith flips through the papers. So she also had a thing with Nathan, that useless son of Madame Rosalie's. You're done, Avery. Callie, the loyal maid, stands by Madame Rosalie. Ma'am, all is well at Elliot's. Well done. Mrs. Dalton hasn't suspected a thing. What about the new girl? She hasn't said anything either, ma'am. Callie, double the dosage for Elliot tonight. His days are numbered anyway, and with Avery around, she'll make a perfect scapegoat. Madame Rosalie takes out a packet of white powder and hands it to Callie. Avery is bathing Elliot when Callie enters with a tray. Ma'am, it's time for Mr. Elliot's injection. Why is there an extra vial today? Doctor's orders, ma'am. Said it'll be good for Elliot's recovery. Callie administers the injection, and while Avery is not looking, she quickly slips the packet of powder into Avery's purse. Just as Callie is about to leave, Avery looks up. Hold on a minute. You look nervous. Is everything okay? Avery stealthily attaches a small bug onto Callie's shoulder. Yeah, ma'am, everything is fine. Just doing my job. I was going to let you off easy, but it seems you've dug your own grave. Suddenly, Elliot on the bed opens his eyes. Ma'am, Elliot, he's awake! Mrs. Dalton, Madame Rosalie, and Avery are in a silent vigil as the doctor checks on unconscious Elliot. Mrs. Dalton, Elliot's eyes opening may be encouraging, but it doesn't necessarily mean full awareness. He's not responding to our voices. So, will my boy ever wake up, doctor? I'm doing everything I can, Mrs. Dalton. We'll just have to wait and see. As doctor exits, Madame Rosalie rises, a grave look on her face. Mother, there's something I've got to tell you. I didn't want to say it, but I can't stand you being lied to any longer. Avery isn't an orphan. Shock ripples across the room. Avery, you're the daughter of esteemed neurologist Dr. Smith. You've told lies after lies to get into the Dalton family. What is your motive? Avery, is this true? Yes, Mrs. Dalton. I did hide my real identity, but I assure you there's no motive. I wanted to come out of my father's reputation and make my own mark in this world, not just be known forever as Dr. Smith's daughter. Avery, the bravery it takes to carve your own path, that's something I can't help but respect. Now, how was your procedure to carry Elliot's child? Did everything go well? Thank you, Mrs. Dalton. The procedure went smoothly. The doctor told me to wait for the results. Mother, there's more. Avery poisoned Elliot. Avery, drop the act. You sneak your way into our family, poison Elliot just so you can seize his estate. Callie enters the room, presenting a small bag of white powder. Mrs. Dalton, I found this in Avery's purse. What? What is this? Arsenic trioxide poison, ma'am. I've noticed Avery acting strangely lately. Then I found this in her bag. She was feeding this to Elliot. Suddenly, to everyone's surprise, Avery snatches the bag and pours the white powder into her mouth. I know we've exposed your conspiracy, but suicide? Really? But Avery, apparently unharmed, shows the bag to the room. Don't worry, Auntie, I can't die. This isn't poison, it's sugar. Callie looks bewildered. You must be wondering why. Callie sneaking poison into Avery's bag. After she leaves, Avery swaps the poison with sugar. Because the actual poison was swapped out. Avery presents another bag, filled with a similar white powder. Callie looks down in panic as Avery approaches her. Callie, how come you would mistake some innocent powdered sugar for poison? And how would you know this poison is arsenic trioxide? You're the one who poisoned Elliot, and you tried to pin this on me. Callie stumbles backward, shaking her head in denial. What's going on here? Mother, this girl Avery cannot be trusted. She's been caught red-handed, and now she's spinning tales to distract us. It seems, Aunt Rosalie, you're not going to stop until the truth is out. Well, luckily I came prepared. Avery pulls out the bug that she planted from Callie's pocket. A sly smile plays on Avery's lips as she observes Callie's shock. Avery holds the bug she pulled out from Callie's pocket. This is a bug. Let's hear together who's behind all of this. Avery plays a recording. Madame Rosalie, I've put the poison in Avery's bag as you instructed. Well done. Madame Rosalie and Callie look horrified as they turn to a speechless Mrs. Dalton. Mrs. Dalton, trembling with rage, clings to a table for support. So that's why my son has showed no sign of recovery. You've been poisoning him, but how did you know? Ma'am, I've always had a keen sense of smell, and I knew something was off with Elliot's medication. Mrs. Dalton, it was Madame Rosalie. She made me. Nonsense! That voice in the recording is not mine. I knew nothing about it. You bloody murderer! How dare you accuse me? You promised me a big paycheck, ma'am. It was you. You take that back. You'd be dead in the streets if I didn't find the kindness in me to hire you as our housekeeper. This is how you repay me? Enough, Rosalie. You've always had your eyes on our family fortune, but I never thought you'd murder. Rosalie, feeling cornered, breaks into fake tears. Mom, I did it for Elliot's own good. Ever since Elliot got into a coma, you've been worrying about him day and night. You can't even eat or sleep properly. I thought it would be better to end Elliot's suffering and let him rest in peace. Shut up. I never expected our family would raise such a malicious daughter. Rosalie, starting from today, you and Nathan will have nothing to do with this family. Without my permission, neither of you can step foot inside this mansion again. Mother, please. Nathan didn't do anything. He had no part in this. You think I don't know Nathan is your loyal sidekick? Avery, you're in charge of taking care of Elliot now. Understood, ma'am. You should rest now. Everyone leaves Elliot's room, leaving Madame Rosalie alone with Elliot. She stares at his lifeless body in bed, deep in thoughts. This wretched girl is more cunning than I thought. She actually kicked me out of this house. If they think Elliot is safe just with me out of the picture, I'm not the only one in the Daltons who wants him dead. Aunt Rosalie, who else wants me dead? Mrs. Dalton rushes to Elliot's room and sees him sitting upright. Under great excitement, the old woman faints and is taken back to her room. This is a miracle. Now that Elliot can talk, he can finally recover with proper therapy. Elliot sits in bed. The coldness emitting from his sharp eyes lands on Avery and gives her chill. Who is she? Sir, she is your wife, the bride Mrs. Dalton chose for you. Her name is... Get her out of here! Avery steps back in fear. Gemma, the maid, escorts Avery out of the room, closing the door behind them. Don't worry, Avery. Elliot might need some time to adjust. Mrs. Dalton will be on your side. Are you scared of Elliot too? I've been serving him for a long time. He might look like he's always in a bad mood, but he's never given me a hard time. At the breakfast table, Elliot is reading Financial Times as his exquisite breakfast is served. Gemma brings Avery from the guest room to the table. I heard you might be carrying my child. Abortion surgery or abortion pill, pick one. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not pregnant. Gemma knows. You can ask her. Elliot takes a sip of his coffee. Prepare yourself then. We'll get a divorce soon. Right now? In a few days, once my mother is discharged. You ungrateful man. I saved your life. Don't you think you should thank me? I didn't expect you'd be this kind of man. Fine. Divorce it is. I'm ready whenever you are. Elliot puts down his coffee, his eyebrows creasing slightly. The gynecologist is examining Avery with an ultrasound machine, her eyes fixed on the monitor. Avery lies anxiously on the examination bed. Congratulations, you're pregnant. What? Doctor, you must be mistaken. I just got my period. That's not a period. It's spotting due to an unstable pregnancy. If you want to keep the baby, you need to start prenatal care immediately. Did your husband come with you? I don't want this baby. Are you sure? Many people struggle with fertility. I suggest you think it through. Are you married? I guess I am, but not for long. I'm getting a divorce. An abortion isn't a minor procedure. You will need an appointment if you're prepared to go through with it. But if you decide to keep it, I also can prescribe some prenatal care medicine. My advice is go home, think it over, and come back a week later for a follow-up. Avery walks down the street, her hand gently caressing her belly. Maybe I should keep the baby? Miss Edith, dressed elegantly, rushes to Elliot's house at the news of him waking up. She finds Elliot, focused on his work behind his desk. Elliot, I came as soon as I heard you're awake. You've been out for so long, I've been missing you to death. Elliot shrugs off Edith's hand with a hint of impatience. Please leave, I'm busy. I know I made you upset, but all I want is us to be together like back when we were kids. Edith, I heard you got engaged to my older brother as soon as I had my accident. Please don't be mad at me. I was forced into it. You're the one I really care about. I'm already married, Edith. Married? How does that woman even deserve to be your wife? Do you know what she's been up to behind your back? Edith pulls out a photograph from her purse and slams it onto Elliot's desk. This is your wife. Look how happy she is, with your nephew. In the photo, Avery and Nathan are on vacation at the beach, happily embracing each other. What? I can't believe Avery would do this. Am I stupid for letting a woman like her be a part of the Dalton family? Edith, bag in hand, saunters away. Seeing Avery in the distance, she smirks and deliberately mistakes her for a housemaid. Hey, you there! The sun is scorching today, can't you see? Hurry up and hold the umbrella for me. You're talking to the wrong girl. I suggest you take your umbrella and your tone somewhere else. How dare you? You must be new here. You've got no idea who I am, do you? Who are you? I've been here a while and no one's ever mentioned you. Enlighten me, if you will. You bitch! Edith raises her hand to slap Avery, but Avery catches it midair and slaps her instead. This is to remind you who's the real lady of this house. A storm rages outside, thunder seeming to shatter the windows. Avery, in her nightgown, hurries to close the window by Elliot's desk cluttered with paperwork. As Avery turns, she accidentally hits the mouse. A hidden folder is revealed, showcasing a photo of a beaming woman with golden curls. Avery gasps, taken aback. A thunderous crack of lightning, followed by the ominous figure of Elliot in the doorway. You going through my stuff? I was just closing the window. I didn't mean to see. Out! With a rough shove, Elliot casts Avery into the darkness of the storage room. She stumbles and falls. Stay here until the divorce is finalized. You can't lock me in here. Elliot slams the door shut, turns, and walks away. His fury lingers in the air. The butler approaches. Lock it. No food for a week. Yes, sir. In the enveloping darkness, Avery slumps against the wall. The faint sound of Gemma's voice drifts from the other side of the door. I'm sorry, ma'am. It's master's orders. I've never seen him this angry before. As soon as he cools down, I'll get you something to eat. It's the photo I saw. That woman, she must hold some special meaning to Elliot. Mrs. Dalton, recently discharged from the hospital, rushes to her son Elliot. Oh, Elliot, I was so scared. I thought I'd never see you again. Are you well, my dear? Calm down, Mom. I'm fully recovered. Where's your wife, Avery? The butler and Gemma exchange a worried glance. Silence fills the room until the butler steps forward. Madam, Avery is in confinement, and it will be 3 more days before she can come out. What? Elliot, did you do this? Actually, Mom, there's something we need to talk about. We're going to get a divorce. I arranged this marriage, Elliot. Avery is a fine girl. I refuse to hear this nonsense. Now show me where Avery is kept, right now. The butler fumbles with a set of keys, finally unlocking the door. Inside, Avery lays unconscious, her face pale and hair disheveled. Avery, wake up, dear. Avery, now washed up, is lying in bed. Gemma offers her a warm cup of milk. Elliot, Avery is your wife, chosen by me. I already told you if you're unhappy with Avery, find a suitable replacement. Until then, no one is going anywhere. Avery, still weak and pale, approaches Elliot, who's poring over some paper documents. I demand a divorce, now! Divorce? I don't think so. Avery stares at Elliot in disbelief. I don't give a damn if you agree or not. Who do you think you are? Nothing can stop me from walking out of here. Sure, we'll divorce, but not now. You can't leave until my mother's last wish is fulfilled. If you have any more conditions, just name them. You're so cold-hearted, you know that? You locked me in some dark room like an animal and didn't even apologize. Fine, I'm sorry. Avery is stunned. So he can apologize? Is he just a robot that can't express his feelings? Well, an apology alone won't cut it. My legs are tired from being locked in for so long. Could you massage them for me? All right, lie down on the couch. And the shoulders. Avery settles comfortably on the couch. Elliot gets down awkwardly and massages her legs and shoulders. Unexpectedly, Avery tumbles into Elliot's arms. All of a sudden, there is a closeness between them. The maids, peeking from outside, exchange whispers and giggles. That's enough. Here's my credit card. Buy whatever you want and stay out of my sight. One more thing. Avery, I forbid you to have my child. If you do, I will kill it with my own hands. Consider yourself warned. Elliot gets in his luxurious sports car and is about to drive off. Andrea, the maid Avery once dismissed, slips into the passenger seat, a mysterious bottle in her hand. Now that you're awake, sir, there's something you might want to know. This is the medicine Avery injected you with every night when you were sick. Sir, it wasn't the accident that put you in a coma. It was Avery's poison. You have to get rid of her. She's dangerous. Noted. Leave the bottle and get out of my car. As Elliot's car speeds off, Andrea is left in the dust. She takes out her phone and dials a number. Madam Rosalie, everything's been taken care of as you commanded. Avery, drained and pallid, lies on an examination bed. An ultrasound machine hums next to her, operated by a kind-faced doctor. I haven't eaten in 4 days, Doc. Is it still there? Many moms-to-be with severe morning sickness can't keep anything down for weeks. Don't worry, your babies are fine. Avery's face registers shock. Babies? You're having twins, Avery. What? Are you sure? I'm getting 2 heartbeats. Would you like to hear them? The doctor places the headphones over Avery's ears. So, are we keeping them or still going with the abortion? Avery walks through the sterile hallway, a hand instinctively cradling her belly, her mind a whirl of emotions. Twins! That is 2 lives growing in me. I have to protect them. I don't care about Elliot's threats. I must divorce him before the babies are born. That way he won't have control over me anymore. Do we have a final decision? The babies are developing fast, so it's best if we act now should we decide to abort. Avery stands at the desk, her face resolute. Doctor, I have decided. I'm keeping my babies. All right, fill out these forms. The form, a section labeled Father of the Child. Avery pauses, looking hesitant. Avery, I forbid you to have my child. If you do, I will kill it with my own hands. Consider yourself warned. Avery, her hand steady, writes down Nathan in the father of the child section. Edith, sitting under a parasol, sips her afternoon tea. She spots Avery approaching from afar and quickly sets her teacup down. Edith signals to her bodyguard, who leaves at the order. As Avery walks along the garden path, she's suddenly grabbed from behind, a hand covering her mouth and nose. After Avery passes out, the figure drags her away. Avery is tossed onto the cold, dusty floor of a dimly lit basement. Edith's voice echoes from the darkness. No one has ever dared to cross me, and yet you had the audacity to lay your hands on me. Now, you have two choices. Either leave this house or... Edith pulls out a small knife, advancing towards Avery and getting closer to her face. Are you insane? You think if you hurt me, Elliot will choose you over me? I don't care, as long as you can't seduce Elliot anymore. Just as Edith lunges at her, Avery swiftly sticks out her foot, tripping Edith. Edith gets back up, even more enraged. She spots a vase in the corner, picks it up, ready to fling it at Avery. I'm the only woman for Elliot. Who are you to challenge me? Just as the vase is about to hit Avery, a hand reaches out, stopping it midair. Elliot enters the scene. Nobody can hurt my wife. Elliot, it wasn't me. This bitch attacked me first. I had to protect myself. I'm fed up with your bullshit. Get out! Elliot extends a hand to Avery, who's still on the floor. Are you all right? So you can be human. Avery takes Elliot's hand and gets back on her feet. She pulls out a familiar vial of medicine from her pocket and applies it on the scratches on her arm. Elliot recognizes the vial. This is the medicine Avery injected you with every night when you were sick. Sir, it wasn't the accident that put you in a coma. It was Avery's poison. What's that medicine? Oh, this? It's my secret antidote. Remember when you were drugged and slipped into a coma? It was this little vial that saved your life. You're welcome. So it was an antidote. So Avery's the one who saved me, despite what everybody else said. Has she been actually honest with me? Edith is sitting with sorrow etched on her face. Paul, her bodyguard and assistant, is plotting a scheme for her. Elliot just woke up. He hasn't fallen for her yet. If you make your move now... Edith's eyes flicker with curiosity. Paul grins sinisterly. Nothing would Mrs. Dalton happier than an heir. So when the time comes, there's no doubt you will take over the position as the woman of this house. Edith, elegantly dressed, carrying a lunchbox, enters the corporation's front doors. I've added the stuff. You just make sure Elliot eats it, and you'll officially become Mrs. Elliot. Paul and Edith share a conniving smile. Edith heads towards Elliot's office. The company employees recognize her and gives a flattering bow. Good morning, ma'am. Edith smiles and proceeds towards Elliot's office. Soon after, Avery enters carrying her own lunchbox. She's stopped by the same employee. Hey, who are you? You can't just barge into the CEO's office. I'm Avery, Elliot's wife. So you say. What proof do you have? Proof? Why do I need proof? I am his wife. Elliot is reviewing some documents. Edith closes the door, places the lunchbox on the table. Elliot, I made lunch for you. Try it. I'm not hungry. Oh, come on. I put a lot of effort into this. Plus, you need to eat. You're still recovering. I'm not leaving until I make sure you take a bite. Elliot frowns, reluctantly takes the lunchbox, scoops a big spoonful, and eats it. At this moment, Avery bursts into the office. She smells something off about Edith's meal, picks it up, and sniffs it. What did you put in this? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm running late. Gotta go. Not making any eye contact, Edith hurries away, slamming the door behind her. I forgot my first aid kit, but you didn't eat it, did you? Elliot slowly nods. Suddenly, he pulls Avery closer, pressing her onto the office desk. Avery looks at him expectantly, but Elliot collapses on top of her. Avery and the butler struggle to help a weakened Elliot into the house. Elliot crumbles onto the bed, his face a flushed and sweaty mask of discomfort. Hang in there, Elliot. I'll get your medicine. Before Avery can turn away, she feels a firm grip on her wrist. Tugged backwards, she lands on the bed, Elliot looming over her. His eyes are ablaze with desire. Closing her eyes, she surrenders to the moment, guiding her lips towards Elliot's. Their lips lock in a fiery kiss, their tongues dancing in a passionate ballet. In one swift movement, Elliot begins to peel off his shirt. Avery's fingers curl into the bedsheets, Elliot's hand entwining with hers. The curtain flutters in the soft breeze as the night yields to the dawn. As the first light of day breaks, Elliot stirs, a dull ache throbbing at his temple. His eyes find Avery, still lost in dreams. As he reaches for his discarded clothing, Avery's arms encircle him from behind. "Do you have to go?" Elliot stands, his back towards Avery. "Yes." Edith storms into Elliot's office, fiery like a lioness. "It was supposed to be my plan." Edith throws open the door to Elliot's office. "Elliot, I think you'll find this file quite interesting. Are you ever curious about what your precious wife has been up to behind your back?" "I trust Avery. Even if she's carrying another man's child, you're okay with that?" Elliot frowns. Edith hands him a document signed by Avery at the hospital, and under father's name it reads Nathan. Elliot is visibly shocked. The sheet reads Prenatal Health Records, with the name Avery and 12 weeks of pregnancy. The name of baby's father reads Nathan. Elliot is furious and slams the file on the table. "Before Avery married you, she was in a relationship with your nephew Nathan. When the doctor gave you a life-threatening diagnosis, they must have thought you were going to die, so they conspired to use this child to take your wealth." "Get out!" Edith trembles in fear and quickly exits. Check if the information Edith brought in is true. "Sir, the hospital confirmed that the information Miss Edith brought in was signed by Avery herself. Take Avery to the hospital." The assistant drags Avery, who struggles to break free. "Stop! What are you doing? Why did you bring me here? I want to see Elliot." "Mr. Elliot, she's here." The assistant throws Avery in front of Elliot. "Avery, is this the child you and Nathan had? I will never forgive the person who betrayed me. I will kill it myself." Several assistants force Avery onto the operating table, and the nurse brings in disinfectant and prepares the needle. Avery panics and shakes her head. "Elliot, listen to me. It's not what you think." "Shut up. Begin." Avery struggles desperately, but the assistants hold her down. "No, Elliot, please. Let me keep the baby. They're not... Elliot!" A female doctor wearing surgical scrubs has just finished a surgery. She is holding a patient information register and is standing at the window with Elliot. "Mr. Elliot, the surgery is complete." "How is she?" "Miss Avery is fine. She is still under anesthesia." "Mr. Elliot, Nathan is already in your office." Nathan is lounging on the couch, rubbing his chin in thought. Elliot's footsteps are heard approaching the door. Nathan quickly stands up, straightens his clothes, and greets Elliot obsequiously. The door opens and Elliot's face is very cold. His assistant is following behind him. "Uncle, did you need me?" Elliot signals to his assistant with his eyes, and the tall assistant kicks Nathan to the ground. "Uncle, what did I do wrong? Please tell me. I don't know what I did." "I killed your and Avery's child." "That's impossible. I never slept with Avery. How could she be carrying my child?" "Uncle, you said Avery is pregnant? Isn't she carrying your child?" Elliot frowns, and several assistants step forward to beat up Nathan, who rolls on the ground. "It's a misunderstanding, Uncle. Avery is lying. She never let me touch her, so I broke up with her. She's just trying to get back at me by saying the child is mine. No matter whose child is in her belly, it can't be mine." "Avery, this is the man you're interested in. When things go wrong, he can easily betray you." Avery is wearing a hospital gown and lying in bed, looking pale. Gemma, the maid, brings Avery a nutritious meal from home. "Miss Avery, don't be sad. Mr. Elliot was just impulsive." "What if I told you that my child wasn't aborted?" The bowl and chopsticks in Gemma's hand fall to the ground. Avery struggles as several assistants hold her down on the hospital bed. The assistants turn around and slam the door shut, leaving only Avery and the female doctor in the room. As the female doctor turns around, Avery grabs the surgical knife, pointing it at the doctor with a fierce expression. "What are you going to do?" "Stay away from me. If you dare come closer, neither of us will leave this operating room alive." Avery, I can help you. But if we accidentally anger Elliot, we both might not survive. He won't. I'll do everything I can to protect my child. 2 days later, Gemma helps Avery back to Elliot's house. As soon as Avery returns to the bedroom, she sees Elliot wearing pajamas and working at the desk. Elliot, you have no right to treat me like this. I'm your wife, not a maid you can mistreat and abuse. Are you really that angry that I killed you and Nathan's child? You animal! Avery raises her hand to slap Elliot, but her arm is stopped by Elliot's strong hand. Could it really be, as Nathan said, that it's my child? Avery, I forbid you to have my child. If you do, I will kill it with my own hands. Consider yourself warned. What about you? Haven't you cheated on me? Avery accidentally opens the computer screen and sees a hidden folder inside, containing a photo of Elliot embracing a woman with a bright smile. Elliot furrows in confusion. I want a divorce. I thought you knew. Divorce is impossible, and having a child is absolutely out of the question. Mrs. Dalton, Edith, and Avery are taking a stroll in the garden when Mrs. Dalton, concerned about Avery's health, asks about it. Avery, I heard you were sick. How are you feeling now? Thank you, Mom. It's nothing serious, just a cold. I'm fine now. That's a relief. By the way, after the last IVF treatment, did the doctor give any news? No, guess we need to take our time. That's my biggest wish. Now that Elliot is awake, you have to work harder. Edith, let's stay at Elliot's house tonight and catch up with Avery. In the middle of the night, a sharp scream alarms everyone. As everyone rushes to the living room, Edith cries and throws herself into Elliot's arms, shaking all over. Seeing it, Avery furrows. What's wrong? Elliot, I'm so scared. There's something scary in my room. Someone wants to harm me. Everyone looks shocked. The butler steps forward and lifts Edith's blanket, revealing countless black spiders inside. The scene is terrifying and everyone is shocked. Butler, what's going on? Ma'am, we have regular cleaning and pest control every month. We have never seen anything like this. Edith wipes her tears with a tissue and gives a signal to the servant. I saw all these things on my bed. I don't know if they're poisonous. The servant understands and points to behind the sofa with an exaggerated and frightened expression. Madam, there seems to be a bottle of spider-attracting pesticide behind the sofa. It's from Dr. Smith's company. The room is tense as everyone gathers around the servant, their eyes fixed on the bottle of spider-attracting medicine resting behind the sofa. The servant cautiously picks it up to examine it. Madam, sir, this bottle, it's meant to attract venomous spiders. How on earth did it end up in Miss Edith's room? All eyes turn to Avery, suspicion and confusion evident on their faces. Before Avery can defend herself, Edith interjects, her voice filled with accusation. So it was you. Tell me, why did you plan to harm me? How can you jump to conclusions based on a bottle of medicine? Dr. Smith is your father, and this medicine is produced by his company. You are also a medical student. Who else in the Dalton family knows how to use medicine besides you? Edith grabs the bottle and throws it at Avery. This medicine is available everywhere. Besides, why would I have any reason to harm you? You're just envious of the bond between Elliot and me, how we've grown up together. And Mrs. Dalton, she adores me. Avery, is what she said true? Edith, you claim you were bitten by a spider, right? Show me the wound then. What are you trying to do? Stay away from me. I was just curious. This particular Chilean rose is a docile pet. It poses no threat and certainly wouldn't bite anyone. What, a pet? The room falls into silence as the revelation sinks in. Edith's panic becomes palpable. Oh, my head is spinning, Elliot. Mrs. Dalton, the spider's venom must be taking effect. Am I going to die soon? Quick, call a doctor. You conveniently timed your poisoning, Edith. This spider carries almost no venom, let alone the ability to harm humans. She's lying, Mrs. Dalton. Please don't listen to her. She's just trying to divert blame. It's truly poisonous. I feel so weak. Please, someone help me. Nathan usually likes to study these things. Butler, call him and let him come over and see if it's poisonous or not. Edith looks panicked as she watches the butler leave. Soon, Nathan rushes in. The butler must have already told you what happened tonight. Where's the spider? The butler leads the way and Nathan cautiously approaches, lifting the blanket. The sight is too much for everyone, but Nathan just laughs. This is Chilean rose, easily mistaken for the venomous black widow. But fear not, these domesticated arachnids are as harmless as can be. In front of everyone's astonished gaze, Nathan boldly picks up one of the spiders and presents it to Elliot. But it only listens to its owner. If there's no handler, it wouldn't have come here. "Oh, madam, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to faint. Why hasn't the doctor come yet? Madam, I feel terrible." Mrs. Dalton becomes uneasy, unaware of the truth. Elliot, on the other hand, looks coldly at Edith and grabs her wrist. "You were bitten, weren't you? My wife is a doctor. Avery, go check if she is poisoned." Avery turns around and takes out a syringe with a silver needle, about to inject Edith's arm. Edith quickly backs away and hides behind Mrs. Dalton. "Madam, I hate needles. I think I'm okay now. Maybe I was just too nervous earlier." "Edith, let Avery check you to make sure you're not hurt. That way I can be at ease." Avery resolutely administers the injection into Edith's wound. The silver needle remains untainted, signifying no trace of poison. "Nathan, are you saying this spider has an owner?" "Definitely. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come out alone. These spiders recognize their owners, so why not test it out on the spot?" "Butler, release the spiders." The servant is shocked and lower her head as the spiders crawl towards her and Edith. "Edith, how dare you deceive us? Do you think I'm such a fool?" "Madam, it was Miss Edith who instructed me to do all these things. She made me train the spiders and placed both the spiders and the medicine in her own room." Edith slaps the servant in a fit of madness. "Shut up, you damn wench!" The servant presents a receipt to Mrs. Dalton. "Madam, look, this is the bill for the medicine that Miss Edith asked me to buy." "Enough! Edith, I don't want to hear anything anymore. From now on, without my permission, you will not come to the Dalton mansion." Mrs. Dalton, it's all that bitch's fault." Mrs. Dalton turned and left the room. Avery returns to her room, opens her suitcase, and rummages through it. After finding a box, Avery picked it up and gave a cold smile. "Edith, you have tried to frame me several times. Since you want to play, I will play with you to the end." Edith returns to her room angrily. "That wretched Avery. Now even Mrs. Dalton ignores me. If it weren't for that woman, I would be the one by Elliot's side every day. Avery, you just wait and see." Edith grumbled and returned to the bed, suddenly feeling something moving around her. "What is it?" Edith turned her head to look, but there was nothing there. Maybe I saw it wrong. When Edith lifted the quilt, she did not notice the dark shadow that quickly sneaked into the bed. She turned off the lights and lay down to sleep. Then she felt something strange and let out a scream of horror. Edith turns on the light and searches the room but finds nothing. She shivers in fear and lies back down on the bed, only to see a huge rat on it. Suddenly, the lights in Edith's room go out. "Who turned off my lights? Help! Someone help me!" Sounds of Edith's terrified screams, squeaking rats, and intense struggle fill Edith's room. In the corridor, Avery leans against the wall, listening to the commotion and secretly laughing. "Edith, you brought this upon yourself. You've cried wolf too many times. No one will believe you anymore." Avery waves her hand and happily turns to leave, but runs into Elliot's stern face. "Elliot, what are you doing here?" "Just checking if you're having fun." What do you mean by that?" "Did you put the rat in her room?" "She accused me of putting spiders in her room. Why can't I scare her with a rat? As long as no one bothers me, I won't bother anyone." Elliot looks at Avery expressionlessly. Avery shifts her gaze and sighs, then looks back up determinedly. "Anyway, you've caught me. Do whatever you want to me." Avery turns her head away, angry. Unexpectedly, Elliot chuckles softly and pins Avery against the wall. "What are you doing?" Avery tries to push Elliot away, but he moves closer. "Avery, don't be angry. She started it. She deserves to be taught a lesson. Don't worry, I won't tell on you." Elliot suddenly picks up Avery bridal way. Just then, Edith bursts out of her room, seeing the scene in disbelief and clenching her fists in anger. Elliot places Avery gently on the bed. Just as Avery eagerly looks at Elliot, he reaches out and grabs her ankle, revealing a bruise. The injury is quite severe. If left untreated, it won't heal easily. When did you notice my injury? Elliot doesn't respond, but immediately fetches a first aid kit and tends to Avery's injury. Even though Elliot was so extreme before and misunderstood me, but I can't tell him the truth. However, how did Elliot find out about the hospital checkup report? Elliot and Avery make out. Avery storms into the hospital's archives room, where a few nurses are chatting. My personal information was leaked for no reason, and I want to see the surveillance video. Just as Avery and the nurses are arguing, Avery spots the female doctor who conducted her prenatal examination. Come with me. In the surveillance video, Edith is the one who looked at Avery's medical records. It's really her. She's the one who caused me to be sent here for an abortion, my arch nemesis. Edith, I won't let you get away with this. Avery wears sunglasses and carries a lunchbox as she sneaks around outside Elliot's company. She spots Edith entering the building and follows her inside. Edith sees Avery, and her whole body is filled with hostility. How was it? Was the mouse exciting enough last time? If not, I have other things like snakes, lizards. Avery, you bitch, I knew it was you. If I remember correctly, you just had an abortion not long ago, right? Why aren't you crying on the hospital bed for a few more days? Thank you for your concern. So, you're here to bring food to Elliot again? So cheeky. By the way, do you know why you've known him for so long but still can't get his love? The first floor reception area of Elliot Company. Edith stares angrily at Avery. Never mind, I won't tell you. If you know something, just say it, unless you don't know anything at all. Elliot has feelings for me. We've known each other since childhood. What do you, an outsider, know about me and Elliot? Well, if you must know, Elliot likes women with golden hair, preferably wearing a white dress. Why should I believe you? I've slept with Elliot and you haven't. Avery puts on sunglasses, rises from her seat, and walks away. Edith, her appearance refined with a golden wig and a dress identical to the one in Elliot's computer photo, awaits Elliot's arrival in the living room. Elliot comes out of his study and sees Edith in the living room. Eli, how do you like my new hairstyle? Elliot looks at her, then his calm expression turns to rage. What's wrong? Don't you like my hair or my dress? Elliot slaps Edith hard across the face. Scissors. Yes, sir. Elliot, let me explain. Avery made me wear this dress and hairstyle. It was her plan to upset you, not me. The butler brings the scissors. Cut her hair and her dress. Elliot, it's all Avery's fault. Haven't you figured it out yet? When she married you, she concealed her true identity. She married you for your fortune. Elliot's expression shifts from anger to confusion. Elliot grabs Avery's wrist and throws her onto the couch. Why did you lie? Why did you marry me? I can't believe I had real feelings for you, and you've been deceiving me all along. I never lied to you. I did hide my identity at first, but the real reason was to save my father. His pharmaceutical company is in trouble and still hasn't been resolved, but I won't take a penny from you. I understand. I'll help with your father. Don't you suspect me anymore? I will believe you as long as you explain. At that moment, the butler rushes in. Sir, Madame Rosalie and Nathan have unexpectedly arrived. They insist on seeing you and Mrs. Dalton. Madame Rosalie and Nathan are cursing loudly outside the gate. That conniving Dalton, he drove away his own kin just to secure his fortune. It's disgraceful. Edith, having changed into a new outfit, is about to leave Elliot's house when she encounters them. Unable to contain her disdain, she approaches them. Well, it's your fault for poisoning Elliot. Now you're homeless and it serves you right. Edith, this is none of your business, okay? You bitch! Nathan raises his hand, ready to slap Edith, but Madame Rosalie quickly intervenes, stopping him. Edith, why do you take their side? Elliot is already married to another woman. Instead of wasting time arguing with me, let's join forces and drive Avery out of the Dalton family. I heard that Elliot has deep feelings for Avery now, and Avery has only been here for a short time. If this continues, you will lose Elliot forever. What should I do? I'll do anything to get rid of Avery. We need a foolproof plan so that she has no chance to fight back. Edith and Madame Rosalie look at each other, both with a wicked smile on their faces. Avery is walking down the road, unaware of someone following her from behind. Suddenly, a girl screams and runs towards Avery in fear. Please, someone is following me. Please help me. Avery is surprised, but immediately helps the girl. Don't worry, come with me. Two thugs surround them. What do you want from us? Avery quietly picks up a brick from the ground. Stop nonsense and hand over this woman. As the thugs approach, Avery hurls the brick at them, causing one thug to scream in agony. This is what you get for bullying girls. Now lie there and suffer. Miss, you don't need to be afraid. Suddenly, Edith lunges from behind, covering Avery's mouth and nose with a white cloth. Avery faints, collapsing to the ground. Edith triumphantly removes her hat, revealing a sinister smile. Take her away, I'll slowly torture her to death. The thugs take Avery away, leaving only a smashed lunchbox on the ground. As the thugs drag Avery towards the hotel entrance, Edith puts a halt to their movements. Wait, you hug her. The thug intimately wraps his arm around Avery, and Edith triumphantly captures the moment with her phone. Sir, you're finally back. Madam has been missing for a day now and hasn't returned. Elliot looks at his watch. It's already 1 a.m. Elliot furrows his brows and immediately calls Avery, but it's off. It's so late, where is she? By the way, sir, early this morning I saw a weird man acting suspiciously on the small road outside. I don't know if it's related. Elliot is shocked and calls his assistant. Block the entire area, find Avery at any cost. Avery painfully opens her eyes, realizing she's tied to a chair on the rooftop with no one around. She struggles, but can't untie the ropes. Don't waste your energy, Avery. You won't break free. Edith, are you crazy? Don't you know this is a crime? You had this coming, you know? You stole Elliot from me. You're a jinx. Every time you appear, nothing good happens. You're engaged to Elliot's brother. You're going to be his sister-in-law. You have no chance with him. Shut up. It's none of your business. I'll break off the engagement with Henry immediately. Edith slaps Avery in anger. A trickle of blood runs down Avery's mouth. Aren't you afraid Elliot will find out? So what? You'll be dead by then, and my money can keep me innocent. Edith walks to the edge of the rooftop, arms crossed and laughing coldly. Avery, guess how high this building is? If you fall from here, not even your parents would recognize your body. Ha ha ha. Miss Edith, there's a call for you. Edith leaves arrogantly, giving Avery a glance before departing. Once Edith is gone, Avery lifts her head, her bound hands fumbling to find the knot. After a moment, the rope falls to the ground. Edith impatiently answers the phone from the thug. Who is it? Why are you bothering me at this time? She recognizes the caller as Elliot and changes her tone immediately. Elliot, it's you! Have you seen Avery? Edith's face instantly changes, looking a bit guilty. Why would I see her? I don't even have time to hide. Avery is missing. Don't try to change the subject. Tell me the truth. Elliot, what do you mean? I've done nothing wrong. Why would I need to change the subject? I'm warning you for the last time. If you have something to do with this, I have a million ways to make you suffer. Edith sneers and sends Elliot a photo of Avery walking into a hotel with another man, their arms around each other. Missing? I'm afraid she's cheating on you with another man. Elliot and the butler are shocked seeing the photo. Elliot throws his phone on the coffee table in front of him and impatiently tugs at his tie. The man in this photo is the same man I saw this morning. Might it be true that Madame Avery is seeing him? Gemma, the maid, runs in from outside with a lunchbox that Avery left on the side of the road. Sir, I found this on the side of the road outside. Madam woke up early to prepare lunch for you. This lunchbox shouldn't have been left on the roadside. Could something have happened to Madam? Elliot stares at the lunchbox, lost in thought. As Elliot steps out of the house, Madame Rosalie and Nathan suddenly appear, blocking his way. What are you doing here? I'm not in the mood to deal with you right now. Move aside. Uncle, why in such a hurry? Are you anxious to know where Avery is? Elliot frowns while the mother and son duo smirk. Edith returns to the rooftop and walks to where she was before, but she doesn't see Avery there. Suddenly, a chair is hurled at her. Edith cries out in pain as she falls to the ground. Avery takes the opportunity to run towards the door, but she finds two thugs waiting there. "Catch that bitch!" Avery sneers and reaches for her pocket, but she finds nothing. Edith gets up and pulls out a sharp injection needle filled with anesthesia from her pocket, waving it triumphantly at Avery. "Are you looking for this?" The thugs seize Avery and press her to the ground. Avery struggles stubbornly. Edith steps forward, slapping Avery across the face and grabbing her by the hair, forcing Avery to look up. "Let me tell you, there's no way you can escape from me. But anyway, you won't live past tonight." Although in pain, Avery remains strong-willed. Suddenly, a voice is heard from behind. "Stop! Uncle, why in such a hurry? Are you anxious to know where Avery is?" "What do you know? Tell me now." "Brother, this is not the attitude towards your helpers. Avery has been taken away by that venomous bitch, Edith." "Where did Edith take her? How do you know?" "Edith thought we would help her. She kidnapped Avery and took her to the rooftop of the N Hotel. If you don't hurry, Avery may not survive." Elliot appears on the rooftop with 4 bodyguards. Avery looks at Elliot, tears welling up in her eyes. "Elliot! Edith, what are you doing?" Edith trembles in fear, dropping her knife and taking 2 steps back. Elliot, why are you here?" "Edith, I never thought you would do something like this." "Elliot, it's not what you think." "You can tell the rest to the police." Elliot raises his hand, and the 4 bodyguards behind him immediately step forward. As Elliot approaches Avery, Edith goes completely mad, rushing forward and dragging Avery towards the edge of the rooftop. "Edith, don't do anything stupid. As long as you let go of Avery, I'll agree to any condition." "I want you to marry me." "Impossible. Avery is my wife." "Wife? So what am I then? Elliot, you're so heartless. I loved you so much for all these years. Why do you only see this rude, disrespectful, and covetous, ugly woman?" As Edith drags Avery towards the edge of the rooftop, Elliot anxiously approaches the edge as well. "Elliot, don't come any closer." "Avery, don't be afraid, I'm here." Edith presses Avery against the edge of the rooftop. Elliot quickly rushes over and pushes Edith aside. Edith falls to the ground. Elliot breathes a sigh of relief and holds Avery tightly in his arms, still in shock. At this moment, Edith picks up the knife from the ground and lunges at Elliot. "You deserve to die!" "Elliot, be careful!" Avery quickly pulls Elliot away, and Edith's knife grazes Avery's arm. Elliot kicks Edith away swiftly. Avery holds her arm, looking pale. "Avery, are you okay?" "I'm fine. As long as you're okay, I'm fine." Avery faints in Elliot's arms. Elliot picks up Avery. At this moment, Nathan and several bodyguards rush in and subdue Edith. "Nathan, you!" "Edith, can you guess why I found you here?" Edith watches in despair as Elliot holds Avery and walks away from the rooftop. Then Madame Rosalie appears. "It's you! You betrayed me!" "If it weren't for your help, how could Nathan and I have had a chance to return to the Dalton family?" "Ha ha ha!" Avery lies in a hospital bed, with her eyes closed and an IV in her arm. Elliot sits by her bed, watching her with concern. "Elliot! Elliot!" Several assistants force Avery onto the operating table, and the nurse brings in disinfectant and prepares the needle. Avery panics and shakes her head. "Elliot, listen to me. It's not what you think." "Shut up. Begin." "No, Elliot, please. Let me keep the baby. They're not—" "Elliot!" Avery wakes up with a pale face and tear stains from the memory of her fear. "My baby. For the sake of my kids, I must leave Elliot as soon as possible." Seeing Avery awake, Elliot comes forward and tightly grips Avery's hand. "Avery, how do you feel?" "Elliot, let's get a divorce." "Why, Avery, why?" Mrs. Dalton enters the room, interrupting their conversation. She quickly comes to Avery's bedside. "Avery, how are you feeling now?" "That Edith, our Dalton family, can no longer tolerate her. Butler, remember, if Edith comes again, do not let her in." "Yes, ma'am." In an instant, Madame Rosalie bursts through the door, overcome with grief, falling to her knees beside Avery's bed. Nathan follows behind. "Avery, my poor Avery, it's all Edith's fault. Mom, you did the right thing. We can never let that kind of person set foot in our Dalton family's home again. Thanks to Rosalie this time, both Elliot and Avery are safe. Rosalie, you can go back home now. But remember, don't cause any more trouble. Otherwise, I'll still kick you out. Mom, I have learned my lesson. I promise I won't repeat my mistakes again. Madame Rosalie and Nathan stand outside the corridor, looking at each other and laughing. Mom, you did a great job. Easy peasy. Since we're back this time, I must take back everything I've lost. And kick Avery and Elliot out of the Dalton family. No, kicking them out is not enough. We need to find a way to permanently get rid of them. Mr. Elliot, Miss Avery is all better now. Elliot helps Avery up from the bed. Let's go home. Avery, what exactly did you see in that good-for-nothing Nathan? I don't like him anymore. Why are you suddenly asking me this? Nothing. What did you mean when you said we should get a divorce? Right, the divorce. Maybe it's time to end things with him, especially when he is actually loving another woman. Nathan may be dumb, but he's a romantic who takes me to concerts and movies. With you, I just keep getting hurt. I'm tired and I don't want to keep trying anymore. Romantic? That's ridiculous. The car arrives at Elliot's house, and Avery forcefully opens the door, walking away. Check if there's a concert tomorrow afternoon or evening. Certainly, sir. What kind of concert would you like to see? Something that women in their 20s would like. The maids nearby exchange knowing, ambiguous glances. Avery sits on her bed, angrily pounding on a pillow. Why does he think he can control me? Who does he think he is, dictating whether I can have a child or not? Avery caresses her stomach. Baby, your dad Elliot is a jerk. Suddenly, her phone vibrates with a new message notification. Avery opens it to read. Assistant will pick you up tomorrow, 8 p.m. Avery walks into the concert hall wearing a brand new, dazzling dress. Miss Avery, Mr. Elliot said for you to take your seat first. He'll be here shortly. Avery sits in the VIP box, looking around and spots her former best friends. Quickly, Avery covers her face with her purse, but she overhears their conversation. Have you heard? Avery is coming too. We used to be the best gang in medical school. Can't believe she was the first one to marry rich. My brother's trying everything to cooperate with the Dalton family, but couldn't. Let's catch up with Avery. She would be so useful now. Oh no, why did I run into them? Humph, they want to use me to get close to the Dalton family. No way. I must not be recognized. The concert begins, and Elliot is seated. As the music plays, Avery and Elliot move closer and closer to each other. Avery's breathing becomes more and more rapid, and her cheeks turn red. Elliot lowers his head and kisses Avery. In Avery's line of sight, one of her friends not far away meets her gaze. In a panic, Avery suddenly grabs her purse to cover her face. Elliot follows Avery's gaze and understands her meaning immediately. Are you ashamed to be seen with me? Are you so afraid that they know you are my wife? In the music hall, the performance continues to play on. Avery, who do you think you are? Elliot walks away without looking back. Elliot! Avery watches in disbelief as Elliot walks away, her heart sinking. Could it be that he wanted to have an official date with me today? But Nathan may be dumb, but he's a romantic who takes me to concerts and movies. With you, I just keep getting hurt. I'm tired and I don't want to keep trying anymore. Never mind, I'll explain it to him later. Suddenly, Avery's phone rings. She presses the answer button. Avery, it's time for your checkup. Avery is lying on a hospital bed in the examination room. The results of the checkup are normal. However, Doctor, what's wrong? You are having a boy and a girl, and they are already formed in your womb. Really? The doctor hands the ultrasound image to Avery. Take a look. You can already see the outline. Avery takes the ultrasound image, gazing at the dark silhouettes of the sleeping twins. If I delay any longer, it will be over once Elliot finds out. I'm sorry, Elliot. I really don't want to lose my babies. Has Avery returned? Sir, Madam has already come back and is resting. Okay, I know. Elliot goes to the bedroom and sees Avery lying on the bed. Avery, don't you have anything to explain to me? Elliot, I was wrong at the concert this afternoon. I'm not afraid of being seen with you, but I don't want others to use me to get to you. You should have told me earlier. Then Avery hands Elliot a divorce agreement. Elliot, I'm asking for a divorce. Elliot walks angrily to the bedside and grips Avery's chin tightly. Why? Elliot, I have my reasons. Is it because I made you abort Nathan's child? It's your right to not want a child, but I want to be a mother and have my own child. Tell me, besides divorcing you, what else can I do? Elliot pins Avery down on the bed. Besides a child, I can give you everything. But as I've said before, if you insist on having my child, I will kill it with my own hands. Don't you understand, Elliot? This is all I want. Avery, don't keep pushing my patience and boundaries. Elliot lets go of Avery, throws away the divorce agreement, and quickly walks out of the room. Mrs. Dalton, Elliot, Avery, Madame Rosalie, and Nathan are all present. A tall man wearing sunglasses appears at the door. Dan, you're back. Brother. Dan stands among the crowd, his gaze fixed on Avery. This is my wife, Avery. So, you're Avery. Avery sits in front of the vanity, applying makeup, when the butler knocks on the door. Madam, Mr. Dan asked me to deliver a message to you. What message? He would like to invite you for tea. Also, he wants to chat with you about your secret. How dare you? I am Elliot's wife. What secret could I have? I'm sorry, madam, but I was only relaying Mr. Dan's words. My secret? The way Dan looks at me, it's as if he knows something. Well, then I shall meet him and find out. Elliot and Avery are having breakfast at the table, and it starts to rain outside the window. We're going out this afternoon. What for? 3 o'clock this afternoon, don't be late. Avery meets Dan at a luxurious cafe. Avery, I've been looking forward to chatting with you. You knew me before? I've heard about you. Elliot and I aren't like normal brothers. As far as I know, you want to divorce him. I can help you with that. That's right, but why would you offer to help me? Dan takes off his sunglasses, revealing one blind eye, shocking Avery. Because of my eye. It was given to me by Elliot. Outside the cinema, Elliot is waiting anxiously, but Avery hasn't shown up yet. It's raining, and his assistant holds an umbrella for him, but he shakes it off. Dan waits for Avery's answer, but she hesitates. So, sister-in-law, even if you can wait, how long can your unborn children wait? Avery is shocked. Elliot still stands in the pouring rain outside the movie theater, refusing to leave. Mr. Elliot, please go back. You've only just recovered and your body can't take it. Avery, I don't want a divorce. Facing Dan's questioning, Avery finally lifts her head and looks him in the eye. As long as I can get a divorce, I'll do anything. Tell me about your plan. I'll send you away and make sure your child is born safely. I'll consider it. The 4 o'clock chime rings in the cafe. Avery looks at the pouring rain outside, suddenly remembering her date with Elliot. Oh no, Elliot is still waiting for me. Avery picks up her bag and stands up, ready to leave the coffee shop. Dan, I hope we can talk more about your plan next time. I have something to attend to, so I'll say goodbye now. While leaving the coffee shop, Avery calls the butler. Butler, where is Elliot waiting for me? The movie theater. The movie theater. Nathan may be dumb, but he's a romantic who takes me to concerts and movies. That idiot. Avery rushes to the movie theater, but Elliot is nowhere to be seen. Just then, she receives a phone call from Elliot's assistant. Mrs. Avery, Mr. Elliot has a fever from getting soaked in the rain. He's at the hospital right now. Which hospital? I'll come now. Avery turns around and crosses the road, a speeding car heading straight towards her. Avery is just about to be hit by a car when Dan rushes in, pushing her out of harm's way. Avery falls to the ground, and Dan quickly helps her up. Are you okay? After assisting Avery to his own car, Dan then glances meaningfully towards the direction the hit-and-run car vanished. Madame Rosalie angrily clenches her fists and looks at the driver who just tried to hit Avery. Useless! Madam, I'm sorry if it weren't for Dan. Dan, you couldn't resist in the end, huh? Avery, I'm not your only enemy. Avery, still shaken from the accident, sits in Dan's car, trying to regain her composure. Avery, are you feeling better? It could have been a disastrous mistake if I hadn't happened to be there. I was too impatient and didn't pay attention to the road. Dan, take me to see Elliot. You want to see Elliot? Of course. If you really want to divorce him, this is your chance. Avery falls silent. Be ruthless, Avery. It's for your own good. Elliot is unconscious on the hospital bed due to a high fever. If you stay by Elliot's side with Elliot's personality, do you think he won't kill your child? Dan, please take me home. Elliot returns home from the hospital, but with a high fever, he falls asleep in his bedroom. Avery comes to Elliot's bedside and looks at him with concern. Master Elliot's fever won't go down, but he insisted on coming home today. Elliot, why are you so stubborn? I lied when I said I liked romantic men. Since I married you, the only person I've ever loved is you. Avery throws herself onto Elliot and cries. Elliot, if it weren't for the baby in my belly, I would never leave you. Edith stands in front of Dan with an imposing attitude. You say Elliot is sick with a high fever? I must go see him. He has someone else by his side now. Why can't you forget him? Edith, maybe there's someone waiting for you too. I don't want anyone but Elliot. Edith being bullied by a group of kids, holding a worn-out stuffed teddy bear, crying by the doorstep of her home. Elliot. Elliot walks over and takes Edith's hand. Elliot and Edith sit together on the rooftop, gazing at the stars. Dan, I want to break off our engagement. I want to marry him. From today on, we have nothing to do with each other. Edith walks away with determination, leaving Dan watching her depart with deep affection. Edith rushes to Elliot's house and happens to see Avery coming out of Elliot's room and going down the stairs. Edith rushes up and grabs Avery by the neck. Avery, I'm going to kill you. It's all your fault that Elliot got sick. You slut. Avery is pressed against the railing of the second floor, her upper body hanging down and bent in pain. Edith, let go of me. Are you crazy? I hate you! Avery pushes Edith with all her strength, finally breaking free. Edith stumbles back a few steps, almost falling off the stairs. Avery, you! Elliot appears at the bedroom door, looking haggard and gloomy. He glances at Avery's neck and then looks angrily at Edith. What are you doing? Edith, let me tell you one last time. Avery is my wife. If you come and cause her trouble again, I will sue you criminally. Get out! Fine, Elliot, I get it. I won't bother you anymore. You better not. Edith runs out crying. Elliot glances at Avery and then turns away. Avery quickly catches up with him. Elliot, I didn't show up on time at the cinema because I was discussing something with Dan. Elliot frowns as soon as he hears Dan's name. Enough, I don't want to hear it. Stop seeing Dan, he's not as simple as you think. Elliot strides away. Avery brings lunch to Elliot at Dalton Group Building, but he is not in his office. Miss Avery, Mr. Dalton went to the hospital. Hospital? What happened to him? I have to go see him. Avery hurries to the hospital, but only catches sight of Elliot's back as he leaves the room. Avery curiously looks towards the room that Elliot left, only to see the woman in the photo on Elliot's computer sleeping soundly on the hospital bed. Avery rubs her eyes and confirms that the girl lying on the hospital bed is the same one from Elliot's computer. So Elliot has been distant from me because of this woman. Of course, Avery. Didn't you already know that she's always been the one in Elliot's heart? Dan holds a glass of wine, standing solemnly by the sofa. So Elliot plans to keep this woman by his side? Master Dan, it seems that Elliot is very attached to her. Very well, Elliot. I will make you taste the bitterness of losing your loved one. Have all the foreign funds been taken care of? Everything has been taken care of. Good. Now give Avery a call. The butler nods and dials Avery's number. Avery, have you thought about it? I happen to have a gathering and would like to invite you to discuss our cooperation. Avery hesitates, holding the phone. Tell me the location. Mater Mansion. Avery hangs up, holding her phone nervously as she falls into deep thought. If I see Dan this time, I'll really leave Elliot. Elliot. Avery calls Elliot, but it rings for a long time without an answer. Elliot's phone vibrates on a chair in the hospital. Elliot stands outside the intensive care unit with Mrs. Dalton, anxiously watching the girl inside. Avery, dressed in her party dress, sits in the car. Go to the Mater Mansion. Avery walks into the grand hall of the luxurious estate and hands her purse to servant who greets her. The servant takes her bag and places it in the coat check. Welcome! Avery and Dan make their way to the hall and run into the butler. The butler smiles eerily at Avery. Soon after, they come across the fired maid Callie, Madame Rosalie, and Nathan. Madame Rosalie sneers at Avery. Dan, why didn't you tell me this was a family gathering? What, Elliot didn't tell you? Elliot will be here too. I guess there's a lot you don't know about him. Like what? Like he killed his father. What? I don't believe it. Dan, why indeed did you come to me? Like I said, we need each other. And Avery, you're so beautiful. I admire you. Outside the intensive care unit, the doctor discusses the girl's condition with Elliot. Elliot, Miss Nicole is getting better now, but still needs to be taken good care of. Mom, don't worry, Nicole will be fine. Elliot sees a missed call from Avery. He dials back, but no answer. In the coat check, Avery's purse vibrates from her ringing phone. Elliot calls his assistant. Where's Avery? Miss Avery went to Mater Mansion. Mr. Dan invited her to the evening gathering. So Avery, is the party enjoyable? What did you mean when you said Elliot killed his father? Avery, it's crowded here. Let's take a walk in the mountains. We can talk here. We'd better not, unless you want the whole family to know Elliot's filthy secret. Elliot arrives at Mater Mansion, anxious and angry. He searches the party but doesn't find Avery. Elliot heads straight to Dan's office, where he is stopped by Dan's bodyguard. Excuse me, Mr. Elliot, please stop. Move! My wife is inside. Do you mean Miss Avery? She went hiking with Mr. Dan. Hiking? They went up from there. But it's already dark and the road up the mountain is steep. I suggest you wait in the hall. They'll be back soon. Elliot clenches his fingers slightly, strides away, and heads up the mountain road. Avery and Dan hike further away into the mountains, the lights of the mansion becoming distant. Avery senses something is wrong and keeps looking back at the brightly lit mansion. Aren't you curious how I became blind? Dan, does it have something to do with your father? At the mention of his father, Dan clenches his fists in pain. Of course, and Elliot. That day in the cabin, it was Elliot who harmed us. Before Dan can finish his sentence, Edith rushes out. Dan, where the hell is Elliot? Avery rushes back to the mansion from the mountain, anxiously looking for Elliot. She sees Elliot's assistant and hurries over. Where did Elliot go? He went up the mountain from there. He just recovered. How could he go to the mountain? He went up the mountain to look for you. God, he will be in danger. Avery finds her handbag and takes out her phone, which has over a dozen missed calls and messages from Elliot. Come find me ASAP. I'm waiting for you in the banquet hall. So, should we mislead Elliot's assistant to the wrong direction? And turn off all the lights on the mountain path. Dismiss all the patrol officers. Elliot is definitely a goner this time. Steep mountains and forests. In the darkness, Elliot pants heavily, persevering in climbing up. Avery, I'll find you and make sure you are okay. Avery and the assistant with a whole search group shout on the mountain path. Elliot, can you hear me? I didn't go up the mountain, Elliot. Please come back. Miss Avery, Mr. Elliot seems to have gone that way. The assistant and Avery run towards the direction pointed by the butler. Elliot in the valley trips over a stone and falls off the cliff. Directed by the butler, Avery and the group search the mountain. Avery suddenly stops. This isn't right. Avery runs in the opposite direction of the group. Avery runs alone towards the dark valley. Split up and search. I'll go check over there. Elliot! Elliot! Where are you? I'm here to take you back. Elliot! Suddenly, Avery notices something and shines her flashlight on it. In the tangled trees, there is Elliot lying there. Oh my God, Elliot, I'm here. Don't be afraid. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Avery climbs towards the steep valley. She crawls to Elliot and hugs him tightly and looks helplessly towards the darkness. Miss Avery, have you found Mr. Elliot? Yes, he is covered in blood. Come quickly. Elliot, wake up. Don't sleep. The assistant jumps over and pats Elliot's cheek. This is very dangerous. Let's get him down. Young Master Elliot has been found. Dan throws his cup hard against the wall. Lucky bastard. Next time you won't be so lucky. Activate Plan B. The Mater Mansion is in chaos due to Elliot's disappearance. Madame Rosalie bangs the table furiously. Dan, this useless idiot. Such a good opportunity and he let go of it? But Elliot has failed this time. It's really satisfying. Not enough. If we can't rely on Dan, we'll do it ourselves. Elliot is lying unconsciously on the bed, surrounded by doctors and nurses. Avery enters and finds that her mentor is the attending physician. Kent, it's you. How's Elliot? He's badly injured but is no longer in danger. Is he your husband? Yes, Kent, please, you must make sure he's okay. Don't worry. After the doctors and nurses leave, only Avery remains by Elliot's bedside. Elliot, please wake up. I've been waiting for you to wake up since I married you. Can you make it stop? Elliot, I love you. Avery falls asleep, exhausted, and is unaware that Elliot's hand moved. Avery wakes up to an empty bed, shocked. Avery turned around and saw Elliot standing at the door. "Elliot, are you feeling well? I was so worried about you yesterday." "You worried about me? Of course I worried about you." Avery's eyes turned red. Elliot notices that Avery is still wearing the clothes that were torn when she was looking for him in the mountain. Elliot hugged Avery tenderly. "Promise me, stay away from Dan. He is no good." "I promise. Elliot, I won't run around and make you worry again." "Does your arm hurt?" "A little bit, but there might be a way you can make me feel better. Like, kiss me here." Seeing that Elliot didn't move, Avery looked disappointed and sighed. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Elliot suddenly held her chin and kissed her, leaving Avery blushing and her heart racing. In heavy rain, Edith stood at the hospital door, watching Elliot and Avery walking away, tears washed away by the rain. An umbrella was held over Edith's head. Edith looked up, and the person holding the umbrella for her was Dan. Elliot and Avery had just returned home from the hospital when Elliot received a phone call. "What? Mom was taken to the hospital?" "Elliot, you can go in Mom's ward, but Avery can't. Since she married into our family, there hasn't been a single peaceful day, and now our mother is in a coma. She's a jinx." "Avery is my wife. You are no one to speak to her like that. Avery, let's go in." Madame Rosalie quickly blocks them. "No, I suspect she has something to do with Mom's illness. She can't go in until Mother wakes up." Elliot clenches his fists, the atmosphere tense. Avery knows that Elliot is worried about his mother and takes the initiative to speak up. "Elliot, forget it. I'll wait for you outside." "Avery, I'm fine. Your mom is more important." Elliot lets go of Avery's hand and enter the ward alone. After Elliot goes in, Madame Rosalie and others become even more hostile towards Avery. "Jinx!" Avery ignores her and looks worriedly at the old lady lying in the bed with an oxygen mask on. "Doctor, what is it with my mother-in-law? Why did she faint suddenly?" Madame's blood pressure has always been unstable, and she may have suffered a mild cerebral hemorrhage due to some kind of stimulation. It's hard to say whether she can wake up. "Whatever it takes, I must cure her." Cardiocerebrovascular disease is one of the most difficult diseases to treat. Probably only Dr. Smith has a way. He is the world's top expert in this field. Avery leaves the doctor's office and walks to the door, glimpsing Elliot sitting anxiously by his mother's bed. In the Smith mansion, Dr. Smith sits on the sofa in the living room, looking at his daughter Avery, who is sitting opposite him with a worried face. "You have disowned me as a father. What are you doing back here?" "Dad, Mrs. Dalton is in real danger. Only you can cure her. Please help me." Dr. Smith stands up angrily from the sofa. "Forget it, I'm not going." "Dad, you used to love me the most." Mrs. Smith affectionately patted her husband's shoulder and smiled to ease the tension. "Avery, actually, your dad has been worrying about you every day since you left home." "Honey, I haven't told you that the money that helped Smith Company through the crisis was sent by the Dalton family." Dr. Smith is shocked. "Actually, the $10 million was given to me by Elliot when he heard that Smith Company was in crisis." "Okay, Ave, I will go with you. Let's give you some medicine first, so you can give it to the old lady." "Thank you, Dad. When will you introduce Elliot to us? I want to see the boy who won my daughter's heart." Avery brought the medicine to Mrs. Dalton's ward. Rosalie, who was still outside the ward, suddenly looked unhappy and stopped Avery. "Hey, didn't I make it clear enough before? You're not welcome here." "I'm here to deliver medicine to my mother." "What medicine? Which doctor prescribed it?" Avery ignored Rosalie and tried to walk towards the ward. Rosalie sneered and pushed Avery. "Stop right there. Mother suddenly fell ill. Maybe it's because of you. Now you're taking out some mysterious medicine. As far as I'm concerned, it's just poison." "I'm not poisoning Mrs. Dalton. I won't poison anyone. Do you really think we'll believe your lies? Take your things and leave." Suddenly, Elliot enters the room with a grim expression and drinks the medicine. "Now, does anyone still suspect us?" "Avery, I believe you. This medicine was prescribed by my father. If you trust me, I'm confident that he'll be able to cure your mother." "All right, I'll leave her in your care." "All right, let's just say it's not poison, but who can guarantee it can cure Mom?" Suddenly, a voice filled with authority is heard from the door. I can guarantee. Everyone turns to see Dr. Smith entering the room. Are you the famous Dr. Smith? The doctor said only Dr. Smith can save Grandma. Okay, let Dr. Smith try. But Elliot, swear to me that if this doesn't work, you and Avery will be forever banished from the Dalton family. Dr. Smith, I will entrust my mother to you. I will arrange the surgery as soon as possible. Let's go see Mrs. Dalton first. Rosalie finally backs down. Avery, Elliot, and Dr. Smith enter the hospital room together. Avery seems so confident. Could she really cure Grandmother? Just let her try. Mother is a lost cause. After that, we can easily get rid of Avery and Elliot. Then we will have everything. The mother and son both smile greedily. They don't notice that Dan is standing nearby, listening to their conversation. He sneers and leaves. A nurse checks on Mrs. Dalton's condition and suddenly notices that she is convulsing in her hospital bed. Outside the hospital room, Rosalie forcefully pushes Avery. Avery, what have you done to my mother? Remember, you promised. The Dalton family's property, Avery, and your shares in the Smith Company. Give them up. I'm not really that heartless. If you guys beg me for forgiveness and apologize, I'll be in a better mood and might consider letting you keep a small house so you don't have to live on the streets. Rosalie and Nathan both look pleased while Avery and Elliot are angry. Suddenly, the hospital room door opens and Mrs. Dalton is pushed out in a wheelchair by medical staff. Who dares to kick out my son and daughter-in-law? Grandma, are you okay? What? Is my being alive disappointing you and your mother? Grandma, what are you talking about? I never thought that just because I got sick, you not only wanted to take over the Dalton family's assets, but also drive Elliot and Avery out of the Dalton family. Mom, I thought it was Avery who did something to you. That's why it turned out like this. I just wanted to get justice for you. Justice? The doctor has told me that if it weren't for Avery finding Dr. Smith, I would have died by now. At this moment, Kent pushes a nurse out. If you don't want to go to jail, tell us everything you know. It was them. They made me unplug the oxygen tube. They forced me to do it. I didn't want to. Rosalie, you thought you had everything planned. If it weren't for Dan notifying the nurse and the nurse checking the surveillance, who would have known that Rosalie was the culprit? Mom, no, I clearly turned off the surveillance. Who is trying to harm me? Shut up. From today on, you and Nathan are not Dalton family members. Mrs. Dalton coldly turned her wheelchair and left. Dan stood in the corner of the hospital corridor, quietly watching Mrs. Dalton leave. Mrs. Dalton lying on the hospital bed, the heart rate monitor beside her was beating normally. The nurse checked the oxygen tank and left with a tray after changing the medicine for Mrs. Dalton. Rosalie walked into the room and looked at the heart rate monitor that was beating normally. Mom, I'm sorry. You're old and should rest. Mom, I'm doing this for Nathan. Rosalie unplugged the oxygen tube, then she pretended that nothing had happened and left calmly. After Rosalie left, Dan came to the bedside. He quietly watched the green line on the heart rate monitor gradually stop beating. It's not the time yet. Mom, I will use you to get rid of Rosalie first, and then uproot Elliot. Dan turned around coldly and pressed the emergency button. He then picked up a phone in the room, which recorded the entire process of Rosalie unplugged the oxygen tube. Outside the hospital room, Elliot was answering the phone. Investigate Dan, check his financial flow, daily whereabouts, and all information. Don't miss any clues. Mrs. Dalton lies on the operating table while Dr. Smith carefully performs surgery on her. Mrs. Dalton lies in bed after the operation, and the heart monitor has returned to a normal rhythm. Mrs. Dalton signals Avery to come closer. Avery, your father is my savior. Where is he? I haven't had the chance to thank him personally. My father has gone back. There are still many patients waiting for his surgery. This is what we should do. Avery, it's our family's fortune that you married into our family. Elliot, I've decided to hand over all of the Dalton family's assets to you in the future. Elliot, the Dalton family's properties are vast. They are the legacy of your great-great-grandfather. You must do everything possible to safeguard this family heritage. Elliot is surprised while Dan looks sinister and clenches his fists. Elliot, Now that the Dalton family is under your control, I'm looking forward to hearing about the birth of my grandson." Elliot and Avery smile at each other. "Mother, what about us?" Mrs. Dalton shakes her head and directly signals the guards to ask Rosalie and Elliot and Avery stand in the corridor. Avery noticed Elliot smiled at Mrs. Dalton talking about grandkid earlier. "Elliot, wouldn't that be nice if we had a kid?" "Avery, I've told you I will never have a child in my life." "But why, Elliot?" "Avery, I have my reasons. After that incident when I was young, I made a vow. I will never change it." "What happened when you were young? What was it?" On a sunny morning, Avery stood in the living room chatting with the maid, Gemma. "Gemma, how do you hear about Mrs. Dalton?" "The doctor said she needs to rest at home from now on." At this moment, Avery's phone rang. She glanced at the caller ID, which said, "Doctor," and found a way to dismiss Gemma. "Gemma, please go to the kitchen and prepare some snacks." "Yes, miss." After Gemma left, Avery answered the phone. "Avery, you need to have a checkup. You're already 5 months pregnant." Avery wears loose clothes that cover her belly and sunglasses as she prepares to leave. She gets into her car and drives out of Elliot's house. A black car follows her from behind. Elliot is working at his desk in the Dalton Corporation office. Nathan enters the room, ignoring his secretary's objections. "Elliot, have you found out what I asked you to investigate? Do you need some clues? After all, Avery is my ex-girlfriend." Elliot stands up and approaches Nathan, grabbing him by the collar. "Talk is cheap. Where is your evidence?" "Just wait, I'll bring it to you." After a while, Dan enters and sits across from Elliot. "Elliot, did you call me here for something?" Elliot opens a drawer and puts a plane ticket and a check on the table. "What's the meaning of this?" "You're a smart man, Dan. You should understand. There's no need to pretend. Do you really think the dirty things you did were seamless?" Dan freezes in shock and panic. "Butler, come in." The butler enters the room looking flustered. "This is your bank statement for the past year. I know for a fact that it's more than your total income during your years at the Dalton family. Tell me, where did this money come from?" "Master Elliot, this money was just a favor I did for the Master Dan. He can testify for me. Don't worry, neither of you can get away with this." Elliot throws a list of calls between Dan and the butler at Dan. "This is a record of all the calls between you and the butler over the years. He appears to be working for the Dalton family, but in reality, he's been your pawn all along. It's one thing for you to do this to me and Avery, but you even dared to use Mom to get rid of Rosalie. Is Mom the next? Brother, where is your conscience?" Dan is exposed, angry, slams his hand on the table, stands up and yells at Elliot. "Elliot, who are you to talk about my lack of conscience? Do you know what I've been through all these years? I lost an eye when I was young. The Dalton family spoiled you completely. No one in the Dalton family cared about me. In the end, even the woman I loved you. Brother, that's no reason for you to harm others. Mother has always cared about you. She knows you like Edith, and she even pampered Edith. But you used Mother's life as a tool to eliminate others." Elliot pushes a plane ticket in front of Dan, threatening him coldly. "Mother said she won't come to see you off. You leave alone. Otherwise, I'll give the police evidence of your crimes." Dan looks flustered and sits down heavily in his chair. Elliot's face is stern. Finally, Dan picks up the check and plane ticket and leaves. Dan stands in front of the landing window, takes off his sunglasses, revealing an empty eye socket. He makes a call. "Is someone following her?" "Proceed with the plan." A black car follows Avery on the street. Avery parks the car and gets out. As she's closing the car door, someone covers her mouth and nose. "Butler, why do you harm me?" While saying this, Avery takes the chance to elbow the butler in his stomach. "Oh, you'd better not fight, Miss Avery, because it would end ugly." Butler pulls out a syringe and injects Avery with it. Avery faints. Elliot returns home and can't find Avery anywhere. "Avery! Avery!" Elliot realizes that something is wrong. Elliot finds Gemma in the kitchen and grabs her arm in a panic. "Where's Avery?" "Miss Avery left in the morning. She said she had something to do and asked me to send snacks to Mrs. Dalton's house in the afternoon." "The airport! Dan hasn't left the airport." Elliot came to the airport, searched every corner with his assistant. Avery is missing. Lock down the entire city and do whatever it takes to find her. Just when Elliot is panicking and at a loss, he receives a call from Dan. Elliot, are you worried about your wife now? I've lost everything because of you guys. How could I leave so easily? Ha ha ha, your wife is in my hands. Don't be stubborn. Surrender now while you still can. Ha, surrender? I'm not dead yet. Why would I be willing to die? After all, my eyes were all because of you. Since Avery is your wife, I will use her eyes to pay off the debt, okay? Elliot, I'll be waiting for you at our old place where I lost my eyes. You know, our secret base, right? Elliot looks serious and calm. You guys stay here and prepare for whatever might happen. Dan, after all these years, let's put an end to this. Avery wakes up in bed, her hands tied behind her back. Dan stands not far from her, wiping his knife with a handkerchief, looking creepy. Avery tries to struggle quietly and break free from the ropes. Don't waste your energy. You've been drugged. Even if you untie the ropes, you won't get far. What do you want to do? Should I dig out your eyes first or take off your clothes first? Don't come any closer. Elliot left me no choice. I have to be ruthless. Dan approaches Avery. You always use lowly and dirty tricks against women. Elliot won't spare you for this. You call this dirty? I can be much dirtier. Dan grabs Avery's chin and leers at her suggestively. He rips her clothes off forcefully. What a great body my little sister-in-law has. Elliot is driving alone on a deserted road in the countryside at night. He accelerates the car and it seems like it's about to take off. Dan continues to undress Avery. Avery is angry but unable to break free. Get away from me! Avery struggles and Dan lies down on top of her. Avery bites Dan's ear fiercely. Dan stands up in pain, blood flowing from his ear. Avery spits out blood. Dan is completely enraged. He slaps Avery's face. All right then, I'll make you repay the debt with your eyes first. Dan's knife slowly approaches Avery's eyes, only an inch away. Avery looks around frantically. Dan, you brought me to this basement. This place must have a special meaning for you, right? Dan's knife stops in midair. Yes, this is where I lost my eyes. That afternoon, we were here. Avery, do you know what it feels like to have a violent father? Do you know what it feels like to have a bottle smashed on your head and stabbed into your eye? We just moved his football, that's all. Dan, everything can start over. Let's go back together. You can return to Dalton and start over, can't you? Dan steps forward and grabs Avery's neck. Don't think I don't know you're trying to buy time. Start over. Do you know how I survived all these years? Everything I've suffered, Elliot will suffer too. Dan's knife is once again pressed against Avery's eye. At this moment, the door is kicked open and Elliot rushes in, grabbing Dan's clothes and flipping him over. Dan struggles. Elliot gives him a punch, causing Dan's nose to bleed as he falls. If you left, I will ensure you have no worries in the future. But you are stubborn. Then you will spend the rest of your life regretting in prison. What makes you think I need your pity? Elliot punches Dan again. Dan laughs madly. Avery curls up in fear, and Elliot quickly unties her and hugs her. Don't be afraid, it's okay. I'll take you home. Dan smiles ferociously and presses the button in his hand. A cage falls from the roof, trapping Elliot and Avery in a mechanism trap. Dan, please, you have to snap out of it. You've known for years that your eyes were not caused by me. It's you! You've always been the clever, favored child in this house. We both did it, but I'm the only one punished. And it's all because of you. Just then, Edith pushes open the door of the wooden house. Dan is surprised. Dan, this time I'm here to save you. You've been trapped in the past for too long. Edith can't bear to look at Elliot with uncontrollable emotions. Even if you kill Elliot, you won't get what you want. Dan, try to move on. Edith, you're still here for him. But it's useless now. Dan points a gun at Elliot. Today, Elliot must die. Dan raises the gun, aiming at Elliot, but in a split second, Edith steps in front of Elliot, taking the bullet in her shoulder. Dan rushes to hold the injured Edith. Edith! While hugging Dan, Edith gets the key from Dan and throws it to Elliot. Elliot picks it up, opens the door, and helps Avery to a safe corner. Edith, you still love him. Taking this opportunity, Elliot snatches the gun from Dan and shoots at him. Edith steps in front of Dan immediately. Dan, heartbroken, holds Edith's lifeless body while Elliot swiftly shoots Dan in the left leg. Despairing, Dan grabs a glass bottle of gunpowder from a corner of the room. Dan lights the bottle and throws it towards Elliot and Avery. "No one can survive. All of us together with Nicole. Let's all die." In the moment of explosion, Avery rushes forward and steps in front of Elliot. "Avery!" Avery and Elliot embrace and roll out of the house. Avery and Elliot look up slowly and make sure that each other is okay. Then they stare at Dan. Dan lies motionless on the ground, eyes wide open, alongside with Edith. They are dead. Elliot sighs and closes his eyes for him. "Dan, all of this happened because of your hatred. You could have lived a better life, and you still had a chance to. But what about Nicole? You wanted too much. I swear I will protect Nicole. Nicole must be the girl in the photo. Elliot, could you tell me what happened here many years ago?" "I don't want to talk about the past anymore." Avery lies injured in Elliot's arms. Behind her, the wooden house is burning. As expected, I cannot be a part of his past. That girl Nicole is clearly the one he cares about the most. Avery has finished her checkup. The doctor is standing next to her with Avery's prenatal report. "Avery, you are 5 months pregnant. You won't be able to hide it for much longer. You should plan ahead. I have made my decision." Avery returns home and sits absent-mindedly in her room, lost in thought. The door suddenly opens and Avery looks up, surprised. Elliot is holding a large bouquet of roses and his face looks uneasy. Elliot approaches Avery and hands her the roses, then takes out a red box. He opens the box to reveal an exquisitely beautiful diamond ring. "Avery, we've been married for half a year now, and I wasn't there for our wedding. This time, I want to give you a grand wedding." Avery's eyes well up with tears. Elliot takes the ring out and slowly puts it on Avery's ring finger. "Avery, I want to give you the best." Elliot kisses Avery deeply, but tears flow from her eyes. Elliot grabs the back of her head, about to deepen the kiss, but Avery breaks away. "Elliot, I'm leaving. Here, take this back." Avery takes off the ring and puts it in his shirt pocket. "What does this mean? You killed that child. I will never forgive you. And that photo on your computer, you must have her in your heart. I won't force you to explain, nor will I force you to give her up because it won't make a difference." Elliot furrows his brow, caught in pain. "We're breaking up. Avery, do you really want to leave me? I've given full authority to my lawyer for the divorce. He will contact you. Elliot, let's not see each other again." Avery turns around and leaves. "Avery!" Avery stops. Elliot looks pained but doesn't say anything more. Avery gives a bitter smile, walks faster, and eventually starts running. Gemma comes out and hands Elliot a letter. "Mr. Elliot, this was found on your desk. It's a letter from Miss Avery to you." Elliot opens the letter frantically. "I only love Nathan. I've never loved you. I hate you, Elliot." The letter slips from Elliot's hand and falls to the ground. 6 years later. Avery, wearing a trench coat and sunglasses, walks out of the airport quickly while making a phone call. "Mommy, I'll take good care of my sister. When are you coming back?" "Joni is the best. Mommy will be back soon. Baby, Mommy loves you." A car parks nearby and Kent waves enthusiastically. "Kent, long time no see." At the airport window, Avery sees Elliot picking up another woman. Avery and Kent walk towards the car park. "It's not easy to invite you here. We just couldn't find a better surgeon to operate on this case. How are Joni and Debbie?" "They are very good." Avery and Kent arrive at the car, and as they get in, Avery sees Elliot picking up a woman who just arrived. "How come he's here?" "He's come to pick up Molly. He's been looking for Dr. Smith's students. He said he needed someone to help him with an operation, and you're the most skilled among us. But I know you've been avoiding him, so I didn't mention your name, so Molly volunteered herself." The car starts and Elliot's car grows distant. "Thank you, Kent. I really don't want to deal with him." "No problem." Suddenly, a figure runs towards the car. "Kent, stop the car!" The screeching brake, a loud bang. The person is flung out. The car stops. Avery opens the door and rushes to check the injury. On the ground lies a woman with blonde hair, wearing a white dress with a scratch on her face. "This is the girl in the picture?" Avery quickly examines Nicole's condition, with Kent assisting her. Avery, do you know her? Sort of. This isn't good. She's still running a high fever. We need to get her to the hospital quickly. The black car screeches to a stop. Elliot gets out of the car and looks at the nanny. What happened? Mr. Elliot, the surveillance system is down. We searched the entire campus and couldn't find Miss Nicole. Elliot's body tenses up and he clenches his fists. Find her! Search the entire city and offer a huge reward. If you can't find her, don't bother coming back. Avery comes out of the operating room looking exhausted. The surgery was successful. We'll have to see how she recovers after the operation. Thank you for your hard work, Avery. But we found something more. The most serious issue is with her brain. It's a congenital disease. Her mental capacity is still at the level of a 3-year-old, and this is where your expertise comes in. Molly or I won't be able to deal with such a complex illness. The only one who can help her is you, Avery. We need the family's signature for the operation. Kent, go get Elliot. Prepare for surgery. After the surgery, Avery comes out weak and almost falls to the ground. Kent supports her. Avery, it was a success. No wonder the medical community values you so much. This surgery can even be used as a teaching case. Kent, help me make an anonymous call to Molly. Nicole's head is wrapped in bandages and her eyes are closed. Molly is holding her phone, nervous and anxious. Elliot walks in and goes straight to Nicole's bed to check on her. Dr. Molly, what's going on? Nicole fainted and was brought to the hospital by a kind-hearted person. I rushed over as soon as I could. Dr. Molly, you have a good heart. We won't treat you unfairly. Since there's a fool who wants to do good without leaving a name, don't blame me for being competitive. Avery sits on a bench in the corner of the hallway with a mask on. She watches Elliot hold Nicole carefully, as if she's a precious treasure. Avery calls her lawyer. Please tell Elliot that if he still refuses to sign the divorce papers tomorrow, I will sue for divorce. Nicole is placed in the VIP ward of a prestigious hospital. Elliot's phone suddenly rings. Hello, Mr. Elliot. I am Miss Avery's lawyer. Miss Avery has returned to her home country. She's gone back? Yes. Miss Avery asked me to contact you again. Her intention for divorce is still unchanged. If you still refuse to sign the agreement, she will sue for the divorce. Divorce is fine. Let her come to talk to me herself. Elliot hangs up and turns to his assistant. Check the surveillance footage of that hospital. Find out who brought Nicole back, and find out where Avery is now. Yes, Mr. Elliot. Avery, you abandoned me for 6 years and still dare to come back. Elliot's phone screen lights up, showing Avery's bright smile on the lock screen. Molly paces nervously outside the ward. Elliot opens the door and looks at her excitedly. Nicole is talking more than before. Her eyes are brighter than before. Molly, the surgery was successful. That's good. Dr. Molly, I hope you continue to treat Nicole. Money is not a problem. Mr. Elliot, I don't want money. I'm now thinking more about starting a family. Sorry, I will never get married again. Mr. Elliot, I don't necessarily want to get married. We can be together as boyfriend and girlfriend, and I can focus on researching Nicole's illness. Are you threatening me? This is just my price. The rest depends on how important your sister is to you. Kent and Avery are having a candlelit dinner. Kent casually mentions Molly. I heard Molly moved into Elliot's house. What? Avery, it seems like you still care about him. Who he's with is none of my business. Avery takes a sip of her wine and finishes the glass. There are several empty bottles on the table. Avery wears a flaming red dress and sways a highball glass, exuding a pure desire and wild temperament, constantly attracting the attention of men. Avery, already drunk, takes out her phone, edits a message, and sends it out. A man approaches Avery and puts his hand on her waist while she's not paying attention. With a loud bang, the man is kicked to the ground. It's Elliot who came. Avery sensually wraps her arms around Elliot's neck, getting closer and closer to him. Elliot. Elliot awkwardly hides his anticipation and doesn't push Avery away. Avery? Didn't you want me to talk to you in person, Mr. Elliot? We're getting a divorce tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Is that what you wanted to say? Oh, and one more thing. Elliot, you loved me so much that you dragged on for 6 years without getting a divorce? Elliot's Adam's apple moves and his fingers suddenly tighten. Avery! Elliot forcibly kisses Avery. Avery struggles, but Elliot kisses her harder. You'll regret this. Regret? I'll just be happy to celebrate with fireworks. Elliot lets go of Avery and stares at her fiercely. All right, we're getting a divorce tomorrow. Avery watches Elliot leave, and as she continues to bitterly smile, a hot tear rolls down her cheek. I'm free. Elliot, I do regret knowing you, regret marrying you, regret falling in love with you. Elliot looks cold and stern, takes off his tie, and walks to the trash can to throw it away. Molly comes out of her room, dressed up nicely. Elliot, you're back. There's a pause for a few seconds, and Elliot irritably stuffs his tie into his pocket. Elliot, is there something on your mind? Get out of here. I let you live in this house to take care of Nicole, not to bother me with anything else. Elliot goes upstairs to his study and slams the door in anger. Molly is left behind, and she happens to meet Gemma, who is bringing tea. Dr. Molly, usually at this time, Mr. Elliot would be reminiscing about his wife. You shouldn't disturb him. Elliot's wife? Molly and Gemma walk downstairs and bump into Elliot's assistant. Has Avery returned? Yes, and she's demanding a divorce. What's Elliot's wife's name? Avery Smith. Her again? Damn Avery. She competed with me for the title of best medical student in school. And now she wants to compete with me for Elliot. Well, Avery, now that I've cured Nicole, what do you have to compete with me? Molly wraps the bandage on Nicole's head. Nicole, you can think of me as your friend. When Elliot and I get married, I'll treat you as my real sister. Did you really perform my surgery? Molly's hand trembles and the bandage falls off. Nicole, do you remember something? Please tell me. The taste, it's wrong. Nicole, during the surgery you were under anesthesia, so it's normal to be confused. I did perform your surgery, and only I can cure you. Molly was talking to herself and didn't notice that Nicole recoiled when she touched her. Avery and Elliot walk out of the lawyer's office side by side, finally free after 6 years. Damn woman, is she really so eager for a divorce? Avery puts on a smile and waves goodbye. When she turns around, her smile fades and her eyes slowly turn red. Molly suddenly appears at the corner of the street and stops Avery. Long time no see, Avery. Can we have lunch together today? I'm busy. Avery walks away and Molly's voice comes from behind. Does Elliot know about your 2 children abroad? Avery, you have high medical achievements now and have inherited your father's company. You don't lack anything. Why did you come back? Are you afraid that I'll come back and interfere with you and Elliot? What am I afraid of? I cured Nicole and now Elliot depends on me. Who else can compare? Then you're really amazing. Avery, you're just a useless waste hiding under your father's shadow. I remember when Dr. Smith first saw me, he praised my hands. He said my hands were born to hold a scalpel. Avery, why don't you let me see your hands? Molly forcibly pulls Avery's hand, and Avery is unable to pull it back. Molly picks up the hot water kettle on the table and is about to pour it on Avery's hand. Avery pulls her hand back in time, and Molly can't dodge it, and the hot water pours onto her own hand. If you dare to mention the children to Elliot, I guarantee you will lose both your hands. Molly sits there crying and deliberately shows her injured hand wrapped in thick gauze. I can't believe Avery would do this to me. Elliot's facial features twist, and he throws a phone to Molly. The video playing on it is Molly and Avery at the cafe. Molly, your only role here is to cure Nicole, understand? Elliot dials Avery's phone number. The phone rings and Avery answers. Avery, did you burn Molly's hand? Elliot's assistant, standing nearby, interjects. Mr. Elliot, the surveillance footage is in, and it was Molly herself. Elliot waves his hand, gesturing for the assistant to leave. So he called Avery just to make an excuse. Mr. Elliot is really lovesick. Avery frowns and speaks sarcastically. Oh no, did Molly burn her hand? Who will perform surgery on your Nicole now? Elliot, you're not going to retaliate against me, are you? Avery hangs up the phone and angrily throws it on the couch. A knock is heard at the door, and Avery's assistant cautiously enters. Boss, we found out that a woman named Molly is investigating your pregnancy checkup reports. Go to the hospital. Avery pushes open the door and sees Molly looking at something. Molly gets startled and drops the report when she sees Avery. If you want me to keep the secret, then you have to promise not to see Elliot again. Unfortunately, I just happen to know your secret and know who really performed surgery on Nicole. Please don't tell Elliot about this, and I won't expose your secret either. I really love him. Avery fiercely shakes off Molly's grip. Using stolen information to threaten Elliot and make him retreat, your so-called love is really cheap. Avery looks dazed and stumbles on the steps. Ah, careful! Avery falls into the man's arms. Are you okay? Avery recovers and her nose is sore. She pushes Elliot away forcefully. Don't touch me. Has your girlfriend's wound healed yet? So many women are waiting for you to care about them. Can you even spare a moment for me? I have no obligation to explain or take responsibility to other women. Avery, Molly, and I have nothing between us. It's none of my business. I don't care who you're with. You've never truly loved me, so I won't be fooled by you anymore. Avery tries to leave, but her arm is held by Elliot. Don't go. Elliot's assistant comes to report the investigation results. Mr. Elliot, I found out that Avery was the one who brought Miss Nicole to the hospital. Elliot is taken aback and quickly grabs Avery. Avery, did you encounter Nicole when she went missing? You saw her. Why didn't you notify me? Nicole had bruises on her body. What did you do to her? What did I do? I deliberately hit her with my car and brought her to the hospital, just to see how wonderful the woman who had you wrapped around her finger was. Are you satisfied now? Elliot's eyes turn red and he tightly clenches his fists. Avery, you can hurt me, but you cannot treat Nicole this way. What, Elliot? Are you going to hit me for her sake? Nicole is... Brother! Elliot and Avery turn to see Nicole, wearing a white dress, running towards them. Nicole is ecstatic to see Avery and excitedly grabs onto her clothes. Brother, surgery, doctor, and my savior. Avery, were you the doctor who performed the surgery on Nicole? Brother? Yes, Nicole is my sister. You've been jealous of my sister all along. Avery is standing outside the room. Why didn't you tell me about Nicole's surgery? Why did you let Molly pretend to be her savior? How dare you? You can't even tell me about your own sister and let me suffer all these years, you bastard. Elliot remains silent, holding on to Avery until she stops hitting him and they lock eyes, both in tears. Elliot reaches out and gently wipes Avery's tears away. I'm sorry, Avery. I couldn't tell you because I promised Nicole that I would protect her. I'm your wife. Why can't you tell your wife? If you're so capable, then keep it from me forever. Avery, I can't lose you again. You don't know how much I've suffered these past 6 years. Dan, Nicole, and I are siblings. Our father was an alcoholic loser who tortured us. Every time he got drunk, he would brutally beat us in the cabin. One time, we accidentally broke his football and he got really angry. I had never seen him so furious. Of course, he got drunk again, and when I went to my mother for help, he threw his empty bottle at Dan and Nicole. I hate him. He's the person I hate the most in my life. Later, I couldn't find anyone to help, so I went back. Just as he was about to throw a glass bottle at my head, Nicole stood in front of me, and since then, her brain's been stuck at 3 years old. I promised Nicole that I would cure her and not let anyone look down on her. Avery holds on to Elliot tightly. Elliot, it's all in the past. It's all in the past. No, it's impossible to forget. Avery, do you know that this is something I'll never be able to get over in my life? Elliot, is this why you don't want children? Yes, because of a father like that, I swear I'll never let my children suffer. Just as Elliot and Avery embrace tightly, Molly rushes in. What are you doing? Avery, you bitch, I am Elliot's girlfriend. Molly, did you really perform Nicole's surgery? Yes, it was me. Elliot, I am the professor's favorite student. Molly, wake up. Have you said one truthful thing? Avery, I won't make it easy for you. Elliot, listen to me. This bitch Avery has 2 children abroad. They are your children. Elliot is stunned and looks at Avery in his arms. Yes, I won't let you hurt them. They are everything to me. That was then... What are their names? Johnny and Debbie, they are 6 years old. They are my children? Johnny, Debbie, they are 6 years old and I haven't even met them. This shouldn't be your reaction, Elliot. Don't you hate children the most? Molly pulls out a fruit knife and waves it while charging towards Nicole. Nicole! Nicole screams in fear while Elliot hurries over. Molly fakes a move, turns and sprints towards Avery. Avery, die! Avery instinctively backs away, but in a hurry she trips and falls. Molly charges towards her, the knife about to plunge into Avery. Elliot rushes over regardless of everything, and the knife plunges into his back. Elliot! Avery and Elliot are sitting in the lounge. Are you really going to wait for Joni and Debbie here? Your body has just recovered. Of course. Don't you hate children? I don't hate children. The madness gene runs in our family's blood. People like me, who cannot be good fathers, should not let children be born. Elliot, that's your dad. It has nothing to do with you. I believe you will be a good father. Because of you guys, I want to learn how to be a good husband and father. Elliot takes out the ring he previously gave to Avery but was returned. Avery, would you give me another chance? Avery smiles and wipes away tears, extending her hand. Show me what you've got, Mr. Elliot. Miss Avery, I have fallen deeply in love with you. Will you be my wife? Don't forget, we still have the biggest wedding to hold. At this moment, there is a commotion in the airport. Mommy! Mommy, Joni took my toy again. The maid, Gemma, also pushes Nicole in a wheelchair. Avery and Elliot smile at each other. The priest is conducting the ceremony, but Elliot is still waiting for Avery. Avery is late. The church door opens and a beam of light appears at the entrance. Elliot looks at her with a smile in his eyes, but Avery has not put on her wedding dress. Nicole appears behind her with 2 children. The dress is dirty. It's dirty. Joni, you ruined Mommy's dress. But you drank the Coke, too. Avery runs towards Elliot with her skirt held up, and Elliot kisses Avery. The priest begins the swearing-in ceremony. Mr. Elliot, do you love Avery in sickness or health, respect her, and remain loyal to her forever? I do, but Avery is shouting on the side. My dress. My wedding dress. Elliot, you promised me the perfect wedding. What do we do now? As long as you're here, everything is perfect.